6:48 right now, time for the morning rush. The Bernalillo County Sheriff says that he is frustrated with the pretrial release system. This comes after his brother was allegedly shot by a felon. Sheriff John Allen says that his brother was picking up his son. That's when another driver, 25-year-old Salvador Garcia, shot at them. Garcia was arrested last September for another shooting and was out on a GPS monitor at the time. The sheriff said that the solution is legislation to keep more offenders behind bars.
The Hobbs woman convicted of throwing her baby in a trash will ask a judge to be released from prison. Alexis Avila is set to serve a 16-year prison sentence after tossing the newborn in a dumpster back in January 2022. A hearing for the motion asking that she be released during her appeal is set for 10:45 this morning.
A man arrested by Albuquerque police for aggravated assault is now looking at additional charges after allegedly kicking the arresting officer. Police were looking for Benjamin Maduka and later found him near 98th and Gibson. Investigators say that Maduka refused to stop, and when officers tried to arrest him, Maduka kicked an officer in the leg. APD then arrested Maduka, who's now facing multiple charges. Zoe.
Yes, we're looking at drier air arriving today, even warmer temperatures. An isolated thunderstorm can't be ruled out across the far southeast, but most of us are going to be drier and warmer across the state Wednesday.
The governor's public health order limiting firearms has been shut down following a new lawsuit. The order originally banned carrying a gun in all public places within Bernalillo County. A week later, it was limited to parks and playgrounds. After a new lawsuit, a judge has granted a temporary restraining order preventing the ban from being enforced until October 3rd.
A city zoning change could allow taller buildings in the Sawmill District. The amendment approved last month increases the height requirements to allow future development to up to 75 feet instead of the previous 65. The owner of Local Heritage Hotels has met with Sawmill neighbors in the area over the last year to discuss the plans for a possible future hotel and new apartments.
Bernalillo County has some new rules for food service affecting regulations on dairy, cannabis, and more. The new food code rules now formally allow pet dogs in outdoor dining spaces and clarify that edible cannabis products can be manufactured within the county. The new code also allows the sale of raw unpasteurized milk and ungraded eggs.
And the Metro Threat Index for today is at just a 1 out of 10. Nothing too crazy to worry about across the state other than these above average temperatures sticking around. Plenty of sunshine across the state Wednesday.
Well, surfing on the Rio Grande could soon be a reality. Ed Lucero, the founder of Surf New Mexico, is proposing to clean up a 5-mile stretch of the Rio Grande from Embudo to Velarde. Lucero's vision is to then build an engineered surf wave in the area. That's with a beach and a bridge across the river. The group is now one step closer after being granted $26,000 from the state's Trail Plus system.
A new program at Animal Welfare aims to reduce the number of pet owners surrendering their furry friends. The new intake redirection program aims to provide owners with resources that can prevent them from surrendering their pet. The program is in their early stages, but Animal Welfare is currently hiring an intake prevention specialist to be their counselor and is also accepting donations.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is urging President Biden to secure the country's borders in the effort to avert a government shutdown. The House and Senate must come to some kind of an agreement on how to fund the government by September 30th or risk a partial government shutdown. Zoe.
Well, traffic maps are looking nice and clear early on this Wednesday morning. No major accidents or slowdowns. Tracker is headed south on I-25 near the Big I, looking at a beautiful sunrise to kick off the day.
The fall colors are arriving a bit later than usual in Colorado. Yellows and burnt oranges color leaves are sneaking in the mountain foliage. The Centennial State is having one of its wettest years on record. Experts say all that rain may set up the state for a particularly vivid year of leaf peeping.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, work being done right here in New Mexico could save North America's rarest tortoise. With fewer than 2,500 of the species left, the Bolson tortoise is endangered and currently only found in Mexico. In a 50-year safe harbor agreement, Bolson tortoises will be released to live freely on Turner's Central New Mexico ranch. Wildlife officials hope the tortoises, which have a lifespan of nearly a century, will reproduce to rebuild their population.
At number 4, NASA is continuing to investigate the cause of an abnormality that ended a flight here in New Mexico. Now, according to the administration, a scientific balloon carrying its Fireball 2 project was launched on Monday morning from Fort Sumner. After reaching an altitude of more than 124,000 feet, NASA says that the balloon experienced an anomaly and then terminated the flight west of Clovis just after 9 p.m. Well, at last check, NASA is still looking to recover the balloon.
And at number 3, we're looking at much drier and even warmer conditions across the state this afternoon. Temperatures in the 90s down south and 80s throughout the rest of the state. An isolated thunderstorm can't be ruled out across the southeast, but compared to yesterday, significantly drier.
At number 2, the governor's amended public health order limiting firearms in Bernalillo County has been shut down once again following a new lawsuit. Part of the order originally made it a civil violation to carry a gun openly or concealed in all public spaces and places within the county. The version she issued a week later limited that ban to just parks and playgrounds. Well, the latest lawsuit comes from Richard Anderson, who identifies himself as a Vietnam vet who regularly carries a gun during day-to-day business. The new suit argues that citizens have just as much right to protect themselves with firearms in parks and playgrounds as anywhere else. The judge granted a temporary restraining order preventing that ban from being enforced at least until the next court hearing on October 3rd.
And at number 1, Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen is expressing frustration over the pretrial detention system. Sheriff Allen says his brother was recently shot at by a convicted felon who was out on an ankle monitor. Allen says his brother was target of a road rage incident on September 7th. They said sheriff's deputies have now charged 25-year-old Salvador Garcia in connection to that shooting. In March, Garcia pled guilty to shooting at his girlfriend's mother's house, but was out on an ankle monitor awaiting his sentencing at the time of the road rage shooting.